gentlemen, my next guest may be the most knowledgeable, likable guy working in music today. Please welcome MTV's Matt Pinfield. Now, Matt, you are, you just know everything about music. I was watching you. You were on Regis the other day, and Regis had all these, questions for you, and he was asking you incredibly obscure stuff, and you were nailing it. So this is your dream job, pretty much.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's definitely my dream job. Music's always been, my main drive in life. I've been sitting in front of a record player since I was a little kid, so listening to music, so.
And is there, now you're getting to meet a lot of big rock stars. Are you becoming friends with any of them? Are you crossing the line between just being the guy that interviews them?
Yeah, a lot of them, actually. I've made a lot of friendships through doing it, and it's pretty interesting, especially when it's some of the older musicians who you loved growing up, people that, you really admired, from David Bowie to Lou Reed, these people.
The Archies. Yeah.
Archies, of course.
I love the Archies. Sugar Sugar?
Yeah, right. There was one guy, Ron Dante. He did all the vocals.
See? I thought it was really the Archies. Get it? I thought it was a cartoon bunch of kids that put the song together. What people like contemporary artists are you being friends with now? Anybody really weird or strange?
Well, obviously people say Marilyn Manson is a weird guy, but he's actually a really
he's a very conventional entertainer.
Yes, he is. Him and Twiggy are good friends of mine, and he's one of these guys who likes to make prank phone calls to me late at night in the middle of the night.
Marilyn Manson calls you late at night? I would find that frightening. Well, myself.
He called me in the middle of the night one time just to tell me, that he thought that this one Smashing Pumpkins song, he's like, Matt, this song Zero, the riff from that song is taken from this old Dawkins song, but you would know that because you know that stuff anyway. And then he made a comment about...
He was ratting out... Who was he ratting out?
I was talking about Billy Corgan, who was his friend, but he was just joking around.
Oh, okay. I thought he was really trying to blow the whistle on him.
No, he was just trying to bust my chops in the middle of the night. Then he started making a comment about my anatomy or something of that nature. And then he basically said, it's Marilyn.
You probably knew that when he first called, yeah. He doesn't have to explain when he calls. Now, usually when he starts the call by saying, Hail Beelzebub. That's probably where you know. I think this is going to be Marilyn Manson. Do you ever get really nervous? You're meeting someone, that you grew up listening to, and because you're such a devotee of this stuff, it's almost a little too intense for you?
Well, one of the main ones was David Bowie, I think. I ended up having dinner with him one night, him and Iman, and I was a big fan of all the stuff that he had done in the 70s, and he was a big influence, like many artists were. And I was really nervous at first, but we ended up locking mentally at the dinner table and just going on. We were just talking for, ever about, Ziggy Stardust and, Mick Ronson playing guitar and all these different things. And everybody just sat around the dinner table just staring at us like this for a good hour or two. And then one of the greatest compliments ever was he said, hey, do you have any ideas for songs that weren't singles off my records that you might think I should do on tour? So he asked me for a list of songs.
He's asking you for your advice.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing for me.
I had a weird experience where about 6 or 7 months ago, I got to interview Paul McCartney. And it was really strange because before the interview, they said, oh, he wants to talk to you. So I went into this room, and he looked at me and he said, what do you think I should wear for the interview? Should I wear the black T-shirt, or should I stick with the suit and tie? And I'm like, you decide. You are Beatle Paul McCartney. I will not decide. You will decide. No, come on, what do you think? Should I go with this or should I go with this? It's up to you. And it freaked me out because I don't want to make any kind of decision. You decide.
Yeah.
So eventually I told him a Flemish suit of armor, and he did it. Just to screw with him. You have are you one of those guys that is skeptical of all these box sets that are coming out now? It's something I've noticed. The Beatles, speaking of them, they put out this big anthology series of their outtakes and everything, and it's great. And a lot of groups that deserve it, like Led Zeppelin, put out a big, beautiful box set. But sometimes I'm in the store and you're seeing the best of Aha, or something. And it's this beautiful box set. It's a leather box or something, and you think that's a little silly.
It is. It's bands like Fine and Cannibals. They made 2 albums. They had more greatest hits than they had albums out. I think they had 3 or 4 greatest hits albums out. It's like, why?
Does it work? But they sell, I guess, right?
I guess people that believe that they had that many hits.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, there's a lot of unnecessary collections out there.
All right. And just before we go, do you have records or just only CD? You must be one of those guys that just has a million vinyl.
I have 3 storage units filled with records, that I've collected over the years. And I always say, I got to get in there one of these days. I got to go through them and lose some of them. But then you get in there and you go, I can't part with this one. And You find yourself spending more time there.
Yeah, then you find yourself sleeping there for months at a time.
Definitely.
My records, my wonderful records. All right, well, 120 Minutes Live is a compilation CD. It's out now, and this is one of the good ones. And, of course, you're on MTV every day, and it's always a pleasure to watch you.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot for coming on the program. Matt Pinfield, everybody. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, that's our show for the night. I do want to thank all our guests. Stay tuned for later. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.